Welcome back to Mohanaastrology. Hello everyone. I'm hoping you all are doing well. Today's discussion is about Jupiter's retrogression. Jupiter will turn retrograde on Sunday, that is 20th of June 2021, in the sign of Aquarius, and will become direct on Monday 18th of October 2021 in the sign of Capricorn. The retrogression will stay about 120 days. From 20th of June to 14th September, Jupiter will retrograde in Aquarius, and then Jupiter will go back to the previous sign Capricorn on 14th of September. And the rest of the retrogression is going to happen there. Shatabhisha and Dhanishta, these two nakshatras are involved in this retrogression. First 1 month will be in Shatabhisha, and the rest of the retrogression is happening in Dhanishta. Now, Jupiter is going to be stationary, of course, like all other retrogradations, and it's going to happen from 17th of June 2021 late evening to late evening of 23rd June 2021 at 8 degree 01 minute in Aquarius. These dates and the time is as per IST, Indian Standard Time. Now again Jupiter will become stationary from 15th of October 2021 to 20th of October 2021, and it is becoming stationary at 28 degrees and 10 minutes in Capricorn. There are a few points in this retrogression of Jupiter which I'm going to discuss first very briefly. Number one is Jupiter will go back to the previous sign of Capricorn, which is its debilitation sign. However, due to retrogression, he is going to be more powerful this time. And Jupiter will try harder to accomplish its mission during this whole retrogression in Capricorn. Second point, Saturn is the dispositor of Jupiter, and Saturn himself is retrograde and extremely powerful in the sky right now. Basically, Saturn is the most powerful planet in the sky. And the last point here is, although both Jupiter and Saturn will be in Capricorn when Jupiter goes back to Capricorn, they will not be too close to each other. So Jupiter is not really afflicted by Saturn this time as it was when Jupiter was direct in Capricorn. Now, having said all these points, there are certain points to remember, and one of those is it is still a retrograde transit, and therefore whatever mission Jupiter will try to achieve here will not be his regular standard path of knowledge and wisdom. And we know that Jupiter is the natural significator of higher knowledge, optimism, positivity, and also of finance and growth, of course. So, what can we expect during this retrogression? The impact of this retrogression while Jupiter remains in Aquarius will be an increase in ambition and desires, but delay in fulfillment of such ambitions. Finances will be unstable and vulnerable. It will not be a great idea to invest money in speculation during this time. Some social change will initiate and manifest during this time. This phase will be excellent for internalizing the energy for spiritual growth. During the rest of the retrogression in Capricorn, Jupiter would like to complete some of his unfinished jobs, and that is the reason why he is going back to Capricorn. This is more likely to be related to finances and social systems. There can be more restrictions during this time. Now, some phases are more crucial during this time, and these are 20th June 2021 to 23rd June 2021. Here, Jupiter, Saturn and Mercury, all three planets will be retrograde, and Mars will aspect retrograde Jupiter. These may be a few days when we need to be careful about distorted ideas, confusing communications, wrong advices, and increase in aggression. It is essential to keep calm during these few days, and it's for all. And secondly, again from 27th September 2021 to 10th of October 2021, when Jupiter, Saturn and Mercury, all three will again be retrograde and placed in trine with Rahu this time. Again, this will be a phase when we need to be careful about finances and trade. Conflict and aggression will increase, and there may be some kind of frustration, venting out of frustration and anger during this time that we can notice. During the entire retrogression period, we should carefully evaluate and re-evaluate the advice that will come our way or we give to others. Like all retrogradations, Jupiter's retrogression will also have an element of unexpectedness or surprise in it, which we have to deal with. And Jupiter is the significator of optimism, growth. I have mentioned this earlier as well. Therefore, a quick fix idea that seems great during retrogression may turn out to be a complete waste of time, energy, and resources once Jupiter goes direct. On the other hand, a well thought out plan of action during retrogression can actually give good results when Jupiter's motion turns direct. This retrogression will bring out a different approach, an unconventional path that can help to recover from the social and financial setbacks that we have been facing so long. And let us now see, if you have retrograde Jupiter in your birth chart, what happens. So people with retrograde Jupiter in the birth chart are people with distinctly different philosophy about life. And you are also constantly reviewing your own aspirations internally. During this retrogression, you will see a window of opportunity when your stuck up work or ideas can materialize. However, we need to see where your natal Jupiter is placed and which two houses he is owning, what are the influences he is having. And if the transit Jupiter is transiting through the supportive houses from your natal Jupiter, this phase is going to be really good for you. Now, if you are born with a stationary Jupiter in your birth chart, depending on where this Jupiter is placed, you are likely to face some obstacles in those areas of life on the dates when Jupiter will station during this transit. Alright, I have spoken a lot about the overall impact. Now let us see what may be the effect moon sign wise. These are general predictions based on the transit as per Vedic astrology, and only Jupiter's transit has been considered here. One thing to know for sure, that the results of this transit of Jupiter will be highly influenced by retrograde Saturn's result, because Saturn is the most powerful planet in the sky right now. If you want to know about the impact of Saturn's retrogression, check out my video on that. The link is appearing above, and I'll also put it in the description box for all of you. And for more precise results, you need to check where your Jupiter is placed in your birth chart, his strength, whether he is the most influencing graha for you, and whether you are running the Mahadasha or Antardasha of Jupiter. Aries moon sign. Jupiter is turning retrograde in your house of income and gain. And till 14th of September, this retrograde transit of Jupiter is not really going to bring any major difference in your current situation. This will be a status quo situation. Some of you may feel that your ambitions and desires are quite high, but the fulfillment of your ambitions is getting delayed and income is causing some concern. However, you need to be careful after Jupiter goes back to Capricorn. This phase can give some mental worries and conflicts as well. You may have to deal with some property matters during this last 1 month. Moving on to Taurus. For Taurus moon sign, the profession needs more attention till 14th of September. You may want to rethink about some aspects of your career. However, for the first 1 month, that is, till the time Jupiter is in Shatavisha Nakshatra, you may feel that you are not really getting the impact on the profession. But later on, it's definitely going to come. Some property related issues or domestic issues may crop up. Try to keep your thoughts positive and have patience. This would be better to go with the flow without resisting much. After 14th of September, things are going to be much better for you. This is the phase when you will make the positive changes related to finance and career, and this is going to help you progress when Jupiter goes direct. Spiritually, this is a very good time for you. Internalized energy is going to help you a lot in meditation. Next is Gemini moon sign. For Gemini moon sign, Jupiter is turning retrograde in your house of luck and fortune. Till 14 September, you will put in extra efforts to progress in higher studies. If you are planning a travel, you need to be a bit careful. The advices coming your way may not be the best advices, so be a bit careful about that as well. Try to maintain a respectful relation with the teachers and mentors and also your father. Now, it will be a good idea to take extra care about your health and well-being after 14th of September. Things will not be easy for you then, but there is a possibility that after this retrogression, when Jupiter turns direct, you will come out as a new person with a much deeper understanding about life and its nuances. So look forward to that. Moving on to Cancer. Jupiter is turning retrograde in your house of transformation and then move back to the house of spouse and business partners. You would feel like sorting out the issues related to joint finance, married life, business partnership once and for all. This will be a good window for that too. However, since these are sensitive issues, so be very careful while you're dealing with these aspects of your life. Try to avoid any unnecessary risks in these matters. After 14th of September, Jupiter will be placed favorably, but will have Veda. So there will be slight improvement in the situation, new opportunities in business, better relation with spouse, and new marriage proposals may come. But it is advised that you use your fair judgment and also take good care of your health and your spouse's health. Next is Leo. Jupiter is going to get retrograde in your house of spouse and business and then going back in your house of job, diseases, loans and competition. You are actually a much better placed during this retrogression than most of the signs. Try to utilize this time before 14th of September for progressing your career, building better understanding with the spouse and finding out what needs to be worked out in these areas. After 14th September, you need to pay more attention to your health and conflict with people may go up as well. At the workplace, you may find some hidden opposition and competition during this time. Next comes Virgo. Jupiter is going retrograde in your house of conflict and diseases, and then he will go back to the house of romance, children, intelligence, and planning. It will be a better option to be careful about health and general well being for you. Do not ignore any health issues. After 14th September, earlier investments can give good returns, but it is not recommended to do any fresh investment during this time. I would strongly suggest that you wait till Jupiter turns direct and then you can go for the investments. Romantic relations will need some reassessment. There may be some worries related to your children. Next sign, Libra. Now, Jupiter is going retrograde in your house of romance, children, intelligence, and planning, and then will move back to the house of comfort, property, and domestic bliss. Say no to any speculative investments. Finances will need some serious reconsideration during this time. Avoid any romantic commitment during the entire retrogression period, and some worry may crop up related to your children. Property matters and domestic peace will be the focus area after 14th of September. Your mother's health will also need some attention. Do not ignore any heart related issues. Moving on to Scorpio. Now, Jupiter is going to go retrograde in your house of comfort, property, domestic bliss, and then further will go back to your house of communication, self-effort, skills, and short travels. Some property-related matters can cause worries. It would be better not to invest in properties right now. You will see some changes in the home front as well. Mother's health will need attention. After 14th of September, there may be some challenges in the work front. You may need to put in higher efforts to get good results. Learning new skills is also a possibility. Take care of stress-related health issues and avoid travel. Coming to Sagittarius. Jupiter is your sign lord and will go retrograde in your house of communications and self-effort. On 14th September, Jupiter will retrograde back to your house of wealth and family. This will be a phase when some earlier initiatives will require thinking to evaluate if those are at all suiting you or not. Avoid starting new ventures, new projects during this time. You may think of learning new skill sets as well. You need to be careful about your health. Financially, you should be careful. After 14th of September, you may have to think about more effective ways of savings and wealth generation. Relation with friends and family will need some re-evaluation as well. Their health and your own health will need attention. Next comes Capricorn. For Capricorn moon sign, Jupiter is turning retrograde in the house of wealth and family and will later go back to your moon sign. Well, this is not a great time finance and family wise. There can be some sudden large amount of expenses. Try to avoid investments during this time. Health concerns for family members can be there. Avoid travel. Professional worries will be there. You need to be more careful about your own health after 14th of September. You are also going through peak of Sadhisati, so spiritual practices are going to help you to calm your mind. Next, Aquarius. Jupiter will be retrograde in your sign and then move back to the house of expenditure and spirituality. Some health issues may resurface during this time. Be careful of the guidance that you are providing to others. And at the same time, weigh all the advices that you are receiving to find out if those are actually beneficial for you. Some confusing and misleading thoughts may come as well, and these may prompt you to doubt yourself. Also, be careful with your finances. Do not invest during this time. Be particularly careful after 14th September. Spirituality is going to give you a lot of strength. Last one is Pisces. Now, Jupiter is your sign lord, and he is going to go retrograde in the house of expenditure and spirituality, and will move to the house of gain and income. You must be enjoying a good time in relation with finances so long. However, during this time of retrogression, expenditure is something that will bother you a lot. You need to be careful about your health too. Avoid long distance travel, and after 14th of September, past investments are going to give good returns, but avoid making any fresh investments till the time Jupiter turns direct. If you are on the spiritual path, this is going to be a very productive time for you. Thank you so much for listening to my video on Jupiter's retrogression, and if you like this video, do share it, like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. May God bless us all.